Welcome to Week 1, ISM 6026, Management Information Systems and Technology. For Week 1, we're going to look at the roles that information systems play in organizations. We're also going to discuss how business, nonprofit, and government managers, as well as information technology departments, depend on information systems knowledge. Then we're going to look at how information systems present both promises and perils and pose ethical questions. So information systems is an amazing and wonderful topic, and a lot of times people ask me, what is information systems? Back in the days, they used to use smoke signals to basically communicate from one place to the other. And now with technology, it's done a little different, but it's shared resources, how you can collaborate on information. And we'll look at what data is, information is, as well as knowledge. And we're so connected in so many different ways. We're connected by portable, movable devices. We're connected in a whole plethora of ways, where now with social media plays a part, and various technology that we utilize in various companies to now help manage and now share information. So one must be an informed user, and one must take part in managing information resources for organization. So with that, an informed user benefits more from an organization IT resources, helps enhance IT resources with his or her input, recommends new adaptive IT resources, and keep up with IT department updates, security, and improve overall organizational effectiveness. So managing information systems is a complex task. Information systems have significant strategic value to organizations. Information systems are expensive to acquire, operate, and maintain. Computing resources are just located throughout the organization, requiring collaboration. So now let's look at what data is, what information is, and what knowledge is. Data is raw facts, numbers, symbols. It really doesn't mean anything to you. Information is processed data. So data is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 3.7 is data because it means nothing to you. Now, if I say John Doe has a GPA of 3.7, then based on that becomes information to you, because now I'm associating that number with something that makes sense to you, so it becomes information. Now knowledge is me utilizing that information for an advancement. So I noticed that my organization, when my organization hires students that have a GPA of 3.7 in a business school at a particular university, then I realize that that is knowledge that I'm utilizing to now enhance my company. So computer-based information systems really are 4 components, which is hardware, software, network, and database. Hardware is any physical component of a computer. A physical component could be a mouse, keyboard, screen. Any physical component is a hardware. Software is what we utilize to now manage the hardware. Now applications, we have now software that manage your operating systems. You have various software like Microsoft Word, Excel, Access, various software that help with now processing information. Network is basically what you use to now communicate with other people from different places. So a network, we look at network, the World Wide Web is a huge network that we utilize to now share data from computer to computer. If your computer didn't have a network and it was just operating as a standalone computer, it will act as a typewriter, because now you can't share data across from any network from one computer to the other. All access, all information is located in one central place, which is that computer. Now, database is what is very essential for organizations. Organizations are the most important thing for organizations is their data. They collect data about their organization, as well as now they have their client data. Back in the days, you used to go to a client's office and you see a whole plethora of files and records and various things of that nature. Now you don't see that. Now everything is electronic now. It's in electronic format, and it basically helps to now share resources, collaborate on information, and have everything stored in one central location, where now you don't have to be there physically to now grab records. But now if I had a location from the organization business, they had a location in Miami, Florida, and now they had another location in LA and another location in New York. Well, everybody from those offices can now share resources because they have a centralized database where now they store all the information. So IT infrastructure now is made up of hardware, software, networks, database, which give you an IT platform, and connected with that with IT personnel give you IT services, which now makes up IT infrastructure. Now I also have I'm a consultant, and what I do is I go to organizations and I look at their infrastructure and I give them recommendations of how they can actually improve so they can now be more competitive in the marketplace. So when I look at the IT infrastructure, I look at their hardware. I look to see if everything is up to date, up to par. I look at their software, what resources they're using. I can have the same software from one organization that is, for instance, an accounting firm utilize a different application than a window washing company. So those are the things that I need to look at to see what do they do and what type of resources they have available, and what I can put in place to make their job just a little better for them. Now with that IT infrastructure, I look at their networks as well too. What type of technology are they using? A T1 line? Are they using fiber? What network are they using now to now transmit their information from one place to the other? Now I also look at their database. What database they have, and is it working effectively? Is it allowing them to retrieve, share, and also now do searches correctly? Those are the things that I look at to give them recommendations of how they can actually now improve. So a department, information systems. We have various departments, and within those departments, we look at functional area information systems. Functional area information systems is what information system that an organization is using. So an organization can utilize a different system in their accounting department, in their finance department, in their operation management department, and their marketing department, as well as their human resources department. However, back in the days, we had systems that now were closed systems from one department to the other, couldn't really share resources. So now within the organization, we have this thing that we call as enterprise resources planning systems, which helps to create the flow of now using one big system, but now different departments utilizes their systems differently from one department to the other. However, each department can share resources from one department to the other. So functional support within the organization. Within a department, you have the functional area information systems, which I touched just a little bit about, talked about the accounting and the finances department, the sales automation, human resources, which have their own information systems, and now the whole entire organization. We looked at the enterprise resources planning systems, which coordinate and share data across multiple functional area information systems. And then also we have transactional processing systems, which now monitor, collect, store, and process data from the organization's basic transactions that generate data. So how does that work? Easy. Any transaction that is being made, just like you going to let's use a store like Super Walmart. Go to Super Walmart and you go and you purchase something. When you go to the store and you grab it from the shelf, you take it to the cashier. The cashier now scans it. That scanner is an input device. Now when you scan it, it gets processed. So with that process, now the information goes to an output device, which is the screen. Now with that output device, now the cashier is able to tell you exactly how much it costs, and now you have the option to pay cash or to pay credit card or debit card. Various ways now you can make transactions. So with that form of transaction processing systems, we have online processing and batch processing. Online processing is when you now pay for it through debit card or credit card. It comes out of your account right away. With batch processing, it works a little differently. That means an organization can process now these payments every hour, or they can process the payments at the end of the day. So that's the difference between online processing and batch processing, and that is the transactional processing systems. Well, even with that, all computers they do at least four different components. And now when we talk about information systems, we have we have 5 components when we talk about that. First component is input device. We talked about just the physical components of a computer, which is the hardware. So now input device can be a scanner, keyboard, anything that helps to process that information. And then we have processing. So whenever you use an input device, it automatically processes that information. And now next is the output device. So after that information is processed, now it gives you output, and then within that output, now you store that information. So computer has 4 different components. And when we look at information systems, now the 5th component is feedback. So if something is out of line, then we get a feedback knowing that it's actually incorrect. So give you an example of that is that I'm doing payroll in the accounting department, and now I process the whole information and realize that I get a feedback letting me know that instead of me entering 40 hours, I actually entered in 400 hours, and I'm actually making a mistake paying one employee more than what they worked for. So that's basically just in a nutshell how those 5 components operate and function. So you have your inter-organizational information systems, which is customer relationship management systems, which is CRM systems, which now helps to now manage information about customers. So when we talk about now, if you purchase something and you were returning it, it goes in that department, customer relationship management. Now they grab information about customers, and now they actually utilize that as an advantage to now sell, send them coupons and various things. So it has all client information so far as phone number, address, has a whole plethora of things. We look at supply chain management, which now we utilize to organization utilize now to now organizations utilize supply chain management to now bring resource from one place to the other, different locations. So so we'll look at that as well too. E-commerce, of how we shop, buying goods online. So the biggest e-commerce is business to business. You have various forms of e-commerce, which is business to consumer. It could be consumer to consumer. We look at eBay, Craigslist. That's another form of e-commerce, consumer to consumer. Business to business has the biggest transactions that takes place in those. When we talk about e-commerce, we can look at various ways, even e-governments. So when you go to a government site, just say trying to renew your passport, do something in the government site, that's dealing with e-governments as well too. So we'll look at that as well too. So so for support for organizations and employees, we have various now resources that help with that. So we have our office automation systems, which now helps to develop documents such as word processing, now schedule resources such as electronic calendars, and support communications, which we look at as emails, voicemail, video conferencing, and various things of that nature. We have our functional area information systems, which now summarize data and now prepares reports. One of the most important things about information systems that now you can have a report about everything that you do within your department. And then with that, we have business intelligent systems, which support complex and non-routine decisions, which we'll look at later on during this class. Then we have expert systems, which attempt to duplicate the work of human experts by applying reasoning capabilities, knowledge, and expertise within a specific domain. So one of the things that I like to share and like to tell students is your car is one of the biggest information systems, has so many different information systems components connected with it. If we look at it, if you go into your car and you want to use the navigation systems, you now put data in there of the address that you want to get to. Well, when you put that data in there, that data now becomes processed, and now the information is on the screen that tells you exactly where to go. So that works in the form of an expert system as well too. We have various things that organizations use. We have digital dashboards, which now managers use to see how well they're doing within the organization. It tells you the ratio of who's doing well in their sales teams and various things. So we'll look at those as well too. Various people utilize information systems, going to all workers from all levels, lower level managers, middle managers, executives, knowledge workers, various people utilize it as an advantage, and it helps them. So IT really helps reduce the number of middle managers because it helps manage people more, and it's more productive. A lot of times people ask, will IT now change the manager's job because it changes how managers will make decisions? Well, it will only just help them to be more efficient and more effective when now looking at resources. So IT affects our quality of life. It also now expands our work hours and flexibility. We're always on a constant call. I mean, we could look at how the robot revolution has just taken form, going back to just how just the medical industry utilizes robots to now do various surgeries. I mean, we have teleprunts robots, we have healthcare robots, industrial robots, military robots. There are various forms of robots that we utilize now that basically makes our job and our work easy. So let's look at how improvements in healthcare, better and fast diagnosis, more accurate patient monitoring, long distance surgery and medical decisions, and dangers of self-diagnosis. So within this, IT, if we look at it, even ethically, we have to make sure when we are utilizing technology that we're actually utilizing it correctly, and we understand the benefits of IT in every department and how it plays a big role in exactly what we do. So, I mean, IT impacts employees at work, loss of identity, health and safety, job stress, economic issues. So it's a certain way you're supposed to now use the broken keyboard. You're supposed to have your chair ergonomic, the way that you basically look at the screen. I mean, it's various ways that you can help, especially when we talk about health issues with technology. Opportunities for people with disabilities. We have speech and vision recognition systems, adaptive equipment and devices for computers. So now people who have disabilities can now utilize technology and help aid them in doing various things that they need to do. So IT helps in every genre of work. So in accounting and finances, why should I use IT systems? It focuses on forecasting, determining best resources and use of funds, and on auditing. Marketing, it performs various analysis regarding product, price, site, and promotion. Production operations management, which design and manufacture products, process customer orders, develop production schedules, control inventory levels, and monitor product quality. And then human resources, manage the recruiting process, analyze and screen job applicants, hire new employees, help employees manage their careers, compensation and benefits, and administer performance tests, monitor productivity. So that concludes week 1, and have an excellent week.